A big holiday and a big band. See how Weber State honored our country's heroes.
Well, we finally saw snow, but will it stick around? Stay tuned, I'll give you this weekend's highs and lows.
Taken for 9 months, then found alive. Hear the details from Elizabeth Smart's testimony in court. Welcome to Weber State News. I'm Shay Baker with some of this week's headlines. The trial of Elizabeth Smart's kidnapper, Brian David Mitchell, is underway, and in 3 days of testimony, Smart told her side of the story. Smart referred to the 9 months she spent with Brian David Mitchell as hell. In her testimony, she said she was forced to consume drugs and alcohol and look at pornography. Mitchell raped her on a daily basis, threatening her life if she were to run away. Utahns are surprised by what they've heard.
Reading the testimony, it definitely opened your eyes a lot more to what actually did occur, and it's disgusting, frankly.
A police officer almost found Smart on one occasion, but when he asked to see her face behind a veil, Mitchell told the officer it was against her religious beliefs. Prosecutors hope to persuade the jury that Mitchell should be held accountable for his actions in a court of law. However, the defense hopes to prove he's mentally unaccountable. Smart returned from an LDS mission in France to testify in court. There is no word as to whether or not she will be asked to take the stand again. A Roy youth pastor was arrested Wednesday for an alleged sexual relationship with a 16-year-old girl. Aaron Witcher, or Pastor Solja, was booked into the Weber County Jail. Police officers say the victim is a member of the congregation Crosswalk Christian Training Center. Officers are looking into the possibility of another victim in the area. It looked like a visit from the Grim Reaper. A man wearing a skull mask and hood robbed a Mountain West credit union on Wednesday. Police say the man was armed and demanded money from 4 tellers just before fleeing into a nearby alley. The robber is still on the run. Anyone who knows of him or his whereabouts is asked to contact police. A sluggish economy has the Ogden Salvation Army feeling a pinch. Now they're cutting services. The Salvation Army cut their adult rehabilitation program, but as I found out yesterday, cutbacks don't always mean setbacks. Alba Gonzalez visits the Salvation Army often. Inside Sally's Market, the center's new food donation center, she gets the help she needs to feed 2 small children. At this time, there's little left to choose from, but Alba says she's grateful. They help us so much by giving us food here 2 times a week. They really help us. There are many people who go looking, and they help us with food. Food donation services are popular here, but other programs just as popular have been cut. The Salvation Army stopped their adult rehabilitation program earlier this year because of its price tag, $90,000 annually. Soon after, they cut the requirement for patrons to attend church in order to get food, a move that has its critics.
I would just simply say that that's not how Christ did it.
In fact, Peter Pemberton says it was the Christian thing to do.
We don't want to force people into a religious activity, but what we hope is that our life is a testimony. Our love, the aid that we give, is a testimony for God.
The impact is clear. Food donation services are up 300% in just 2 months, but increased demand may be about more than food. Pemberton says it's about much, much more.
If we see children with smiles on their faces, if we see parents come with a frown and leave with a smile, we know that we've done exactly that. We are fulfilling our mission as the Salvation Army.
The new Sally's Market at the Salvation Army is open daily until 3. As always, you can donate to the Salvation Army this holiday season. Their famous bell ringers start work November 22nd. 4 teens were charged Thursday for starting the Old South Ogden Junior High on fire. The teens were charged with reckless burning, criminal trespassing, and curfew violations for the fire that took 40 firefighters and nearly 12 hours to contain. Officials say the suspects are between the ages of 12 and 13. Their identities will not be released. Hundreds celebrated the lives of our veterans yesterday with kind words and even moments of silence. But for some Ogden High School students, silence just wasn't enough. Marvin Walker tells us what all the noise is about.
The sounds of drums and tubas filled the Student Union building on Veterans Day. The WSU Veteran Services invited the Ogden High School Marching Band for the music they play.
We decided to take some well-known movie themes, such as like Pearl Harbor, Roll Tide, and we put that into our field show for this year.
The band opened with the Star Spangled Banner, and the rest of their theme music dedicated to the veterans pleased everyone in attendance. Veteran Services was honored to have them come perform.
Everybody hanging around the rafters here just to hear their performance. It takes a lot for these young men and women to come away from school for just a few minutes to play for us for 20, and we really appreciate it.
WSU's Veteran Service showed their appreciation by displaying their uniforms, their helmets, and other equipment. A Veterans Administration van, which travels around the state of Utah, was also at the university.
For veterans who want to come in and if they have questions about their benefits or have counseling issues, suffered from PTSD, they need counseling, they can come use this van today.
Veterans Day will forever be a day that touches many. Their efforts will never be forgotten. From the Student Union building, Marvin Walker, Weber State News.
To find out what services are available for veterans here on campus, visit Weber State's website, weber.edu. Books, books, and more books. You expect them at the library, but in this case, librarians simply want to get rid of them. John Coyle tells us how fewer books might be a good thing.
Students, faculty, alumni, and Ogden citizens alike are all flocking to the atrium of the Stewart Library this weekend to try and get a good deal on books. The Friends of the Stewart Library put on a book sale every year to raise money.
We do the book sale to raise extra funds for the library every year. The books come from donations, and anything that we can't add to the collection, we sell in the book sale every fall.
Categories of books range everywhere from education to science to technology and can all be found at the price of 50 cents a piece for a paperback and $1 a piece for a hardback. The book sale is a great fundraising tool for the library, but what does it mean to Weber State students?
I think the book sale's great. It's a big, haven't never been before, but it looks like they've got some pretty good deals and some pretty good books that you can pick up.
The book sale has had success in the past, proving to be largely popular to anyone who has attended.
We get a really good turnout. We usually send out flyers to people that are regulars that come to the book sale every year, and pretty much sell almost all the way out every year.
The book sale will be going on until 5:30 p.m. today, from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, and from 1 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. on Sunday. From the Weber State Library, I'm John Coyle, Weber State News.
A library spokesperson says to check out the book sale as soon as possible. Books usually sell out quickly. UDOT officials are the new snowmen, but not the kind you make in your yard. The Discovery Channel will feature several UDOT officials on a new show called Snowmen that shows the danger of keeping Utah's canyons plowed during the ski season. With each episode, the Discovery Channel contributes $13,000 to Utah's Transportation Fund, and if the first 3 shows rate well, Discovery may decide to fund additional episodes. And here we have actually weather with John Coyle. John, can you tell us if we have any snowmen in our future?
Well, Shay, we have had some snowmen the last week. Everybody knows that. Even my Aunt Shirley knows that, and she's always the last to know everyone. Ask anyone in the family. But we can see throughout the nation here, we've had some kind of a warm front throughout the northeast, and on the west coast, there's been some clouds that may roll into Utah coming up in our regional map. We can take a look at our highs and lows today. It looks like in Salt Lake City today, a high of 46 degrees, Boise 46, Pocatello 46. If you have any big big plans for the weekend, looks like we got a high of 64 in Vegas, so it's going to stay pretty nice there. Eli, Wyoming 44, 56 in Reno, but let's take a look at those lows. Those are going to be what get you. 27 in Salt Lake, 26 in Pocatello, 33 in Boise, low of 43 in Vegas. So if you get the low, those plans might have a little bit of a damper. 10 in Eli, Wyoming. So if you're planning on going to Eli, Wyoming this weekend, my advice is don't. Looks like a low of 20 in Flagstaff. That's going to affect our football team. But what's going to affect the rest of us? Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. obviously. Today we have a high of 43, excuse me, a low of 28. Looks like highs in the low 40s throughout the weekend, but looks like we're going to have some weather warming up in the beginning of the week. 48, 49 on Monday and Tuesday, 48 on Wednesday, and 53 for a high next Thursday. So we could have some warm weather, actually, at the beginning of next week. Back to you, Shay.
Sounds good. I can deal with the warm weather. Now, some Weber State students are stepping off campus in the warm weather, but winding right back into the classroom. This time, they're there to teach. Weber State students are taking time out from college life to lend a helping hand to junior high students. The students serve as tutors and mentors to prepare students for high school and eventually college. The students conduct small group tutorials for a better tutor-to-student ratio, and they teach the young students problem-solving techniques as well as positive social and mental assertiveness to prepare for higher education. Here's what Weber State students are saying about the joys of tutoring.
I love seeing the kids learn.
That turned out well.
Seeing them figure it out for themselves because they get excited.
Seeing the light come on, just expanding people's knowledge, so or being a tool for that.
Students say they feel they're impacting the future by helping young students. They hope that they can prepare them for college and careers. So how about that? We got some tutoring going on. Have you ever done that?
I'm pretty smart, so I don't really need the
You don't need tutoring?
Yeah, I mean, I can do tutoring, but I'm way too expensive, so, you know.
Well, I bake cookies. Do you take cookies? Because I might need some.
Yeah, I do take cookies. I just decided. For you, Shay, I'll take the cookies.
Okay, sounds good. It's a deal. I'll hold you to
All
it.
right.
Okay, well, that's it for us at Weber State News. For more headlines, visit us see what's happening at Weber State Student Newspaper, WSUsignpost.com, or listen to 88.1 on your radio dial every 15 minutes after the hour for KWCR's 88-second update. We'll see you next week.